What is going on, everybody? It is your girl Marquita with Team TRM, and in this video we're going to talk about how to easily set up your LLC. Now, before we begin, I do want to state that I'm not a financial advisor, CPA, or attorney. This is based on my own personal experience. Please be sure to seek the advice from any of the above first before forming your LLC, and this is also based on being a USA resident. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with those outside of the USA, so you may have to seek some further guidance on that. So first, let's talk about what an LLC is. So an LLC stands for a limited liability company, which is generally used for protection. Owners of an LLC are called members. If you are the only member of the LLC, it's called a single member LLC, which is what we'll be setting up and discussing today. Now, why would you start an LLC? A LLC provides protections for your assets. So are you in a high-risk business? Can you potentially be sued in the business that you are operating? If so, an LLC may be a good idea for you. Now, because an LLC keeps your business assets and your personal assets separate, this means that if one entity is being sued, meaning you're being sued, or your LLC is being sued, it may provide protection in the assets for your other entity. So if I'm personally being sued, my LLC assets that are held in that may not be touched, and vice versa. If my business is being sued, my personal assets may not be touched. And I say may for a specific reason, and that is because if you run your LLC improperly, there may be grounds to do what's called a piercing of the corporate veil and get to your personal assets, or vice versa. So you want to be very, very careful to run your LLC properly, and that just means keeping everything clear cut and separate. Do not commingle your funds, etc. The next thing is, are you actually earning money in your business? Operating an LLC has a world of new fees. Setting up your LLC has a cost associated with it. Keeping your LLC running has a cost to it. I'm talking registered agents, I'm talking mail forwarding, advertising for your business, phone numbers, websites, email, etc. You want to make sure that if you're setting up an LLC, you're doing it because you are running a legitimate business, and all of these costs are associated with doing that. Now, your business bank account may also have fees. So again, if we're setting up an LLC, we are setting up an entity that is its own being. It's separate from you, and you want to keep it that way. That means you want a business bank account, which I'm going to have a video on as well. But your business bank account may have fees. So we're looking at fees across the board. And so if your business isn't making money, you may want to consider holding off on the LLC. You also want to avoid what's called undercapitalization in your business. That means you want to keep enough money in your business checking account that will be needed to help your business run efficiently. Some people, they get the money in their business bank account and they pay themselves the entire amount to try to limit the risk of that corporate account being sued. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you are running your business to make sure to maintain a profit, and you want to pay yourself a reasonable salary, but also do that after your expenses. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, like I mentioned, if you're not making enough money at this time, it may be best to hold off on setting up your LLC until you are. You can still elect to run your business as what's called a sole proprietor. So there are videos on YouTube regarding that. There's information via Google on that as well. So before you set up your LLC, just make sure it's reasonable for you to do so. Now, let's talk about the potential benefits of opening an LLC. Because your business and your personal assets are now separate, it does make it much easier to file your taxes for each entity. So there is no more searching through your personal bank account for expenses. It just makes it super clear, since your business should have its own account, and all of your business expenses should be running from your business account, and all of your personal expenses should be running from your personal account. So that makes your tax person very, very happy. That should make you very, very happy because it saves you hours and hours of searching through your personal account for your expenses for potential write-offs. Now, speaking of write-offs, you may have access to more write-offs as a business owner. Some may even say that the tax code favors business owners. And as time progresses and your business becomes more profitable, you may elect to be taxed as what's called an S Corp, which could also save you even more money in self-employment taxes. So, I mean, we're talking benefit on benefit here. So now let's talk about forming your LLC. There are two ways that you can form your LLC. The first way is to do it yourself. This is actually going to cost less than hiring a service, of course, but it takes more work to set up. You have to go through to the Secretary of State. You have to file the paperwork. You have to do this. You have to do that. So it may take more work to set up, and then that makes it more prone to mistakes, okay? So you want to make sure that you're doing everything accurately if you're short on funds and want to do it yourself. You also need a registered agent. That's basically just the point of contact that lives in the state of your LLC formation. You can actually be the registered agent if you are forming your LLC in the state that you reside in. If you're forming it outside of your state, that is where you would need to have a person just basically be the point of contact for you that lives in that state. You also have to draft all of your own paperwork, like your operating agreement, articles of incorporation, etc. Now, there are templates online that you can follow, but again, on the Residual Master, we talk about ways to make sure that you are living life a lot more freely. So, the second way is to hire a company to form the LLC for you, which is what I personally recommend. Now, there is a higher cost than doing it yourself. There's always an additional fee for convenience, so you want to keep that in mind. This can run you a couple of $100s, or if you go with some of the more expensive services, it can even run you a couple of $1,000s if you're choosing their upsells. But this may help with avoiding mistakes because even though it costs you money, it may save you from future costs by forming the LLC properly. Now let's talk about choosing your state. So like I mentioned, if you choose to form your LLC outside of your state, you would need a registered agent. Most people actually choose to register their LLC in the state that they reside in. You can choose to register your LLC in a state outside of where you reside, which is called a foreign LLC. Be sure to contact an attorney first, since you have to abide by the laws in both states when operating your business. So let's say you're forming your LLC in Nevada, but you live in Georgia. You actually have to abide by both of the laws in Georgia and in Nevada. So you want to make sure to contact an attorney. You may also want to seek the advice of a CPA, since one of the implications of doing a foreign LLC may be double tax. That means that you would need to pay taxes in the state that you reside and the LLC formation state. So be very careful. Take a look at the rules of your state, take a look at the rules of the state that you're forming in, and make sure you contact a CPA to see if it's even beneficial for you to do that. Now, when choosing a foreign LLC, most people choose to form in one of 3 states due to its potential benefits, and those states are Delaware, Nevada, or Wyoming. Now, be sure to do your own research and find which state would be best suited for you if you choose to form a foreign LLC. Now, personally, I chose to form my single member LLC in Wyoming, and the first reason is the privacy. So members and managers can remain private in Wyoming. The second reason is protection. They offer what's called COP, or charging order protection, that may actually prevent personal creditors from reverse piercing the corporate veil. Now, what I mean by that is, okay, we have the normal quote unquote piercing of the corporate veil, which means that you have a judgment creditor looking to come after the funds from your corporation, and then if they can't get the funds from your corporation, they pierce through to try to get the money from you. In this case, we're looking at John. Now, when we're talking about reverse piercing the corporate veil, we're talking about a personal creditor coming after John, and if they can't get any money from John, then they seek to get the corporation's money. So Wyoming has a very strong charging protection order or COP, so that you do not have to worry about this happening if your LLC has been structured properly and if you have been running your business properly. So I really like that feature. A lot of other states do not offer this for single member LLCs. Wyoming does. So that was a huge benefit for me. The third reason is that it's very affordable for both the initial filing and yearly maintenance fees. You know, other states are a little bit more expensive. Like Nevada is definitely a great place to incorporate or to register your LLC, but it is very expensive when it comes to the initial filing and your yearly maintenance. So again, you want to do your own research on that. But I recommend hiring a service like I mentioned. So let's take a look at what I personally use so that you get an idea of how to go about getting everything set up. All right, so here we are on the Buffalo Registered Agents LLC, and the website is Wyoming or wyregisteredagents.net. I'll leave the link below in the description as well. And this is the company that I personally use to go ahead and set up my LLC. It made it very simple, very easy to do. It does come with your registered agent. You can actually add that here. And you can go to this website, read over the benefits, read over why you would want to choose maybe this company for your LLC like I did. Again, this is not advice. This is just what I personally did. And so they give some benefits as to why to hire them. So you want to read over this information. A lot of content on this page to go through to see if this is the best choice for you. But what I did was, I'll share with you right away, is I went over to form an LLC or corporation. As you could see, the order is 149. I went ahead and clicked that. Now, you can see that this is a little shopping area here. It tells you exactly what's going on. So right now we're at $49. So you see the 1-day business formation, 1-year registered agent, and the annual compliance nominee service fee is $0. But we're going to go through, I'm just going to share with you a quick example of how to get everything set up here. So the first one is your filing information. This is going to be public, so anyone looking at your LLC or your corporation is going to be able to see this information. So we'll go ahead and get this set up. The first thing is to choose your business type. So we have LLC, corporation, close LLC, close corporation. You want to look up the benefits of these two here. For now, we're going to focus on the LLC. The next is to choose the desired company name. Now, you can choose any name that you would like. If you click on the little help here, it gives you some information. So it says, enter the name exactly as you want it to be filed. That includes abbreviations and punctuations desired. You want to include the appropriate endings, such as LLC for limited liability company, or Inc. or Corp for corporation. You could do LTD. You could do a number of variations for LLC if you'd like. Usually there is a bit of information on Google as to the abbreviations that you could use. Some people choose limited, some people choose LTD, some people choose LLC. It's really up to you and how you want your name to appear. I just went basic and chose LLC. Now, it must be distinguishable from any other name already on file with the state. So essentially, your name cannot match any name in Wyoming for any of the corporations. So this is why they have you choose a desired name and then choose an alternative company name as well. And if for some reason both of those names are taken, they'll actually give you a call and discuss other options. Now, another helpful tip that I would do is, there's two things. One, I would choose something completely generic. So basically, you don't want to include words, especially if you're planning to open a business bank account. You want to be very selective about the words you choose in your company name. So I wouldn't go with anything with credit in it, okay? Because those type of things are frowned upon with business bank accounts. I would stay away from words that have to do with money, that have to do with anything like that. So investment, invest, money, earn, any of that I would try to avoid. I would also avoid using my personal name. That is just a personal preference, but it's up to you. If you wanted to register John Hanley or John Smith LLC, you can definitely do that. And your LLC name does not have to be on par with your brand. So, you don't have to make it similar. So generic is probably the best thing here. Also avoid using the word the in your name, especially if it's at the beginning. So for me, I'm the residual master. I registered my LLC as the residual master, but when I went to go do my EIN and receive my EIN information, the IRS does not accept the word the, so I'm taxed as residual master LLC. So that's just something you want to keep in mind. But let's just choose a generic name, something funny. So we'll go Peanut Butter LLC. Now when they say punctuation and including that, you want to if you want peanut butter comma LLC, if you type that, that's exactly what your company name is going to be, so be mindful for that. And then for alternative, let's just do Jelly Co LLC. Okay, so we have Peanut Butter LLC, Jelly Co LLC. Next, you can either do manager managed or member managed. So again, there's a help button here. Let's see exactly what that means. So it says here, most people prefer to list managers on record at the state because a manager doesn't necessarily have to be the owner. It's considered a little more private. Usually you list the members in the operating agreement and appoint the managers in the operating agreement. They can be the same person. Sometimes people want to have something more on record with the state to prove ownership of an LLC. If this is the case, we can list the members and have it member managed. Now, again, this is a personal choice. I chose to go with member managed because, I'm the only one here. Doesn't matter if people know I'm the owner. You may choose to do manager managed. Same price as you notice. The price has not changed. It's $149 right now after we chosen that. So let's just go ahead and enter some information. Here's my details. And if you have more than one member, then you could actually go ahead and add an owner here if you choose to do that. I'm just single member LLC. All right. So now let's take a look at the optional items. The first one you absolutely want to keep, in my personal opinion. This is the annual compliance nominee service. So if we click help, it just means that every anniversary date of your company, you are required to file an annual report. Your company will get dissolved by the state if this is not done properly. Okay, so in the slides we talked about managing your LLC properly, which is why I chose to hire a service as opposed to doing it myself, because even though it's cheaper to do it yourself, again, you may run into problems that could cost you in the future. I would hate for you to have your business bank account running, your business is flourishing, and then you forget to do something like this and you no longer have a business. That would absolutely suck. So hiring a service, although it's more expensive, if you're at that point in your business, it may be definitely something you want to do. So the person filing the annual report gets their personal name, email, phone, address, IP, and MAC address, and all their contact information listed in a permanent public record. And 90 days before your annual report is due, we will send you a notice reminding you of the upcoming due date. And then 60 days before the annual report is due, we will automatically file your report and charge your card $100 plus state fees. You can cancel this service at any time with one click from your online account. So again, very, very convenient. With convenience comes a fee. I recommend keeping it. Of course, you do not have to if you don't want to. But the second thing is your tax ID. So it's kind of like your social security number for your business. That means that your business is its own entity. It's like its own individual. That helps you keep everything separate for your taxes and all of that. So you can do this free online if you'd like to. You can just go to the irs.gov website or type into Google, apply for the EIN for, irs.gov. There should be a website there. You can do that, list all the information for your business, and you can get your EIN right away for free through the confirmation. Again, I just chose to have everything done. If you add it here and the person doing it has a social security number, that jumps the price to $199. So you may want to save on that and you may want to take it off. It's completely up to you. But I'm going to share with you what I did. So I added that, which brings the cost to $199, right? And you can get a Wyoming phone number if you prefer to for $99 a year. And another video when we talk about opening the business bank account, I'm going to share with you how I got a 1-800 number for much cheaper, than this upfront cost. You can spread it out over the months here. I pay about $9.95 for my 1-800 number. Again, if you would like, you can choose to go Wyoming if you prefer. I did not add that service. And you can choose to have your own unique Wyoming address, which I did choose. So if we look at it here, that brings the price to $298. Now you have two options here. You can do mail forwarding and scanning, which is what I did. That's $99 a year. Or you can do an office lease, which includes mail forwarding at $300 a year. Now the difference is the mail forwarding service, basically everyone gets the same address for this company, and then you get your own suite number. This one you get a full address unique to you. So if you're looking to be more professional, then that may be the service you want. And then when it comes to the mail forwarding, you can have them open and scan your mail to you so you get it digitally, or you can have them forward the unopened mail to you. I chose this option and it was very helpful, especially if you're applying for your business bank account and they need to send the mail directly to where your business is registered. So that's what I did, mail forwarding. And again, if we look at the price, it's still $298. Now these other two options here were not available when I first started. So you have the corporate book, and that is an extra charge of $60. What the corporate book is basically a way to keep all of your company documents in one single place. It keeps it professional, meaning your articles of incorporation, your initial filings, your IRS EIN form or SS4, your articles of organization, all of that would be kept in this corporate book. Now this wasn't offered when I got started, otherwise I may have purchased it, but what I did was I just went to Office Max. I got a 3-ring binder and I got the little plastic slips, and I got my paperwork from this company through the back office, which is very intuitive, and I just printed out everything, I signed it, and then I put it into that corporate binder. Now that was a lot cheaper than $60. You can go ahead and do that yourself, but you want to make sure you have a professional way to keep all of your documents. You want to be abiding by your operating agreement. This is a business, so again, you want to operate it as such. So if you prefer the additional cost of $60, you can. The corporate seal is kind of like your corporate signature. It's a little stamp that can be placed next to the names or on documents to make sure that people know that it is an official document from your company. Again, it's a nice thing to have, but it isn't necessary. I didn't purchase it, so I'll leave it off. And again, our total price is $298. And the next thing is just your personal information. So your first name, last name, phone number, address, state, zip code where you actually reside. So this is what's on your physical ID. And if you have an attorney that you want them to notify anytime you receive information for a lawsuit, meaning someone's trying to sue you, then you want to enter your attorney's information. You'll just select yes here and enter your attorney's email address, and then you create an email and password that abides by the rules below. And then the very last section here is to pay for your service. So you would enter your name, your card number, CVV code, you would enter the expiration date of your card and the year, and you would place your order. And once you do, you'll get your information to be able to sign into your back office. The company notifies you via personal email when there are documents for you to review and documents for you to sign. If you actually went with the tax ID, there is going to be some additional paperwork you need to fill out when they are ready to apply for your EIN. So pay close attention to the email that you use to register. But that's really it for me. Hopefully this was a little helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to drop them below. Again, my name is Marquita. I'm with Team TRM. And as I always say, I'll see you at the top or not. You decide. Take care.